What up, MMA Maniacs? It is time once again for another installment of Split Decision, your MMA podcast, brought to you weekly from the KOA studios. I'm Bueller, that's Dodge. Check out our sponsor, officialKOA.com. That is Knockout Artist Clothing. You have to go see them and check out the threads they have for fighters, fight fans, and fight personalities alike. They love us. You should love them too. Also, Fight Fans Radio Network, putting us out there on the regular through their Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, as well as their iTunes account and our website, SplitDecisionMMA.com. That is the first place you should go. If you can't get it there, then get it everywhere else. All right? So we'll break you off with some MMA news, what's happening this week, as well as a recap of UFC on Fox 9. Dodge, what is happening, man?
We have Chael Sonnen talking about the day before his fight against Rashad Evans at UFC 167, he had several inches of his colon removed.
I just wonder how big his colon is.
I don't know. I don't know how big an average colon is either.
Well, he's full of shit, so it's got to be huge.
But he basically asked him about it. He said, it's no big deal. He said, when I sign a contract to fight, I'm agreeing to fight a guy on a certain day, at a certain time, at a certain venue. It's my job to feel good when I go out there and do it. Even if I don't, they pay me. They play my hand in that fight. So,
dude, the guy's a gamer, man. I mean,
yeah.
he takes his job seriously. I have to give him credit for that. I am not a Chael Sonnen fan, but I am a fan of his work ethic. That's for sure.
So we have Conor McGregor still trolling Diego Sanchez for a fight.
All day until he gets it.
Until he gets it.
And
Diego put up this picture, which he doesn't look that out of shape to me. Looks in better shape than me.
I'm fat, so I have nothing to say.
Right?
I know, we can't really be judges.
Right, but I love that Conor McGregor says, look at them titties and belly rolls. You fat waste of space, little scrawny legs on you, I'll stop you inside of 2 minutes.
You're fat waste of space. That's probably exactly what it sounded like.
It kills me because you look at that picture and... Like, I would be happy to have any of those people's
right?
body.
You know what's funny is that it obviously goes from most in shape to fattest, though. Like, if you look at it, this guy's in the best shape. Then you got the guy in the middle in great
and then you got a
shape.
guy that's got a shirt on.
Diego's got some saggy titties, and then you got the guy in the end who probably still looks better than me with my shirt off. Nothing to say
Put
there.
that up today. Do you still want to see Diego Sanchez fight Conor McGregor? Conor McGregor coming up to lightweight.
I would like to see Conor McGregor fight again, just because he's been so loudmouth on Twitter, and he's definitely
the number one Google searched person in Ireland.
Coming in second is my wiener. All right.
People have been searching for that shit for a while.
Only in Ireland, my friend. Only in Ireland. It's inside the pot of gold. I mean, I just want to see him fight. The guy, he's so outspoken, and he's put his money where his mouth is every time.
Every time.
I mean, why not, dude? I'd love to see him fight Diego Sanchez. I hate Diego Sanchez anyway. It'd be a great fight to see.
So not only has GSP stepped away from the sport, but the UFC has removed him from the rankings today.
This is serious, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Did you see any of the pics of him out partying in Miami?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He wants to be a normal person.
He's living life.
Yeah, he
Let
wants
him
to
live life.
Dude,
Guy made $12
he had like
million
6 hookers
this
in
year.
the pool.
Yeah. Guy hasn't
Allegedly
had
they're
sex in
hookers.
longer than Michael McDonald.
Allegedly, they're hookers.
They look like
He
ladies of
probably hasn't
the
had sex
night.
longer than Michael McDonald. Dude wants to live it up, be a normal person. He wants to go party in Ibiza or whatever you say it. And
So Tariq Saffiedine cracked the list now. Is basically out of this whole shufflement.
Oh, okay.
So GSP no longer on the rankings. Dana White said he's confident though he will fight again. Obviously, Twitter blew up huge when he said he was going to retire. So he's walking away. Everybody's actually pretty proud of him, saying that you're still walking away a champion. That they have mad respect for you. You completely changed the game of MMA. Completely changed what it is to be a champion.
The guy he came into the sport and he lost to Matt Hughes, and all of a sudden he turned it around and became a very amicable champion. I mean, someone for a lot of people to look up to too. There's not a lot of sports heroes where you can look up and be like, this guy sets a real positive, role model, is a positive role model for people watching. But GSP, honestly, I think he had very clean living. He was always a very positive person.
Yep.
I think he was great for the sport in that aspect. I mean, even Randy Couture was, Captain America. Everybody loved Randy Couture until all of a sudden he got greedy. I never saw that with GSP.
No, ever.
Yeah, so I mean, I have nothing but admiration for the guy, and if he does come back, I'll definitely be on Team GSP once again.
And then, of course, we had our fight get announced that Robbie Lawler was fighting Johnny Hendricks, and the only person really to freak out about that was Ben Askren.
He's been mouthy about everything lately.
What? Lawler for the title? He's 4-3 in his last 7. Condit got screwed. That's all he wrote. And other than he also wanted to put in old school 8-person Grand Prix where he would get to fight in it.
Like Warrior, I just watched that over the weekend. Actually, good movie.
So I don't know. Ben Askren stayed at ONE FC for 2 years.
I mean, why not? Why not? With GSP vacating the title, why not give Askren a shot after a couple fights?
He signed a 2-year contract with ONE FC.
Like, he won't be able to walk away from that.
Nobody else wants him.
After ONE FC folds, he'll show up on Tough like Johnny Rock said on Facebook.
But nobody asked him to leave the UFC, right? He left on his own.
GSP?
No, Askren.
Askren was never in the UFC.
Oh, okay.
He was in Bellator.
Yeah, just Bellator fighter.
And they decided not to re-sign him, even though he was their champion.
Yeah,
their champ. Okay, that's right.
Complete sense.
That's right.
They're undefeated champion, but we're not going to re-sign him.
Who was it that walked away from the UFC to go to Bellator, and then they didn't do nothing with him?
Nobody I know.
We just talked about this person a couple weeks
ago.
I know who you're talking about, but
Congo walked. I mean, he didn't get re-signed, so he went to Bellator.
Anyway.
Fitch got cut, went over there to World Series of Fighting.
Went to World Series of Fighting, yeah. So we had our EA Sports UFC new game coming out. We had the fan vote for who gets to be on the cover.
The contest online, right?
For the cover, yeah, you get to enter. So your winner to be on the cover with John Jones is going to be Alexander Gustafsson.
So Alexander Gustafsson, he beats GSP, and I mean, in something that could have easily been an inside move because GSP walked away from the sport.
Yeah,
I think GSP probably was a front runner over Alexander until everything happened. Honestly, I mean, there's no way Alexander Gustafsson is a fan favorite over GSP to be on the cover of a game. There's no way.
They said that Europe accounted for nearly 40% of the web traffic to vote for Alexander Gustafsson.
Still, I don't believe it. I think it was an inside PR move. I have no doubt in my mind because you can't. I mean, GSP's gone, and the game comes out in 6 months.
Yeah,
there's no way. Why would you have GSP? He might be a character you can fight with, but why would you have him on the cover?
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to take him out. Or if they're going to leave him in.
He'll be a crazy code that you can get.
An unlockable.
Pre-order.
Yeah.
Download,
Up, down, left, right, BAGSP.
I thought it would just be down, 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 down.
Just down and hold.
Yeah.
For 30 seconds.
It's got to be longer than 30 seconds.
We can't be 25 minutes.
And then you got to hit the jab button for 25 minutes. Something along those lines.
Then you just hear the buzzer and that's it. Hey, GSP is unlocked.
Speaking of John Jones, he's very upset that he says he's been playing musical chairs, that they keep moving his fight around. Remember, he was announced to fight at UFC 170, and then it was UFC 171, and now it's going to be UFC 172 in Baltimore.
Are they really playing this game? Like, he is upset when in actuality we all know it's been medical issue?
And that's what Dana White said at the press conference afterwards. Look, we asked if he'd be ready to fight by February. He said yes, and then like a week later he said no. He's like, so suck it.
Like, that's childish of John Jones.
He's just playing the game.
He says it's making me look bad.
No, you were making me look bad.
Exactly, he's making himself look bad.
You made yourself look bad when you came out and said, I only fight for the money. Remember when he said that?
Well, I mean... I don't disagree with that.
I'm not here to be a champion. I'm here to make money.
I only fight for money.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to fight Lyoto Machida, even though he's the number one contender, because my last pay-per-view with Lyoto Machida was the least amount of money I've ever made.
And I think that's why we had more respect for a lot of these other fighters before the UFC, because they weren't fighting for money. They were fighting for titles and trophies,
bragging rights.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the sport's supposed to be about. But ultimately, if you're an athlete, it's your job. You still want to get paid at the end of the day.
I understand that.
That's why people play for the Cleveland Browns.
Thanks for not saying the Raiders.
You go to play for the Browns, you're not worried about going to get a title anywhere. You're just worried about getting a paycheck at the end of the day.
So Dana White said that he will not create interim titles for the lightweight champion Anthony Pettis or heavyweight title or champion Cain Velasquez, because basically he says we know when they're coming back. Their position on the way they make interim titles is when we don't know the timetable of when they're coming back.
But does the timetable fit his timetable that he set less than 3 months ago?
What he said, a year.
Yeah.
I think as long as they're coming back within, like with Dominic Cruz, they almost created the interim because he was going to come back, then he's not going to come back. Then we don't have a timetable when he's going to come back.
But when they didn't have a timetable, all of a sudden they scheduled a fight within a certain amount of time. So they said, okay, we won't do this. But there's still an interim title. Now with Cain Velasquez, they have a date, and if they schedule a fight within that year's time, I guess I understand it. But at the same time, it's like, well, we know when he's coming back, and it's 3.5 years from now. No, give us an interim title.
So remember we talked about Julie Kedzie retiring after her first fight in the UFC. She has now actually been named the new matchmaker for Invicta. I think it was very cool.
That's what I figured. I figured she would get a job with Invicta.
Yeah. She's got plenty of experience.
Of experience.
And obviously the game has kind of passed her by anyway, so why not put her in a position where she knows the ins and outs, she knows the roster. She could probably make a good difference in Invicta and hopefully, thin out some of the weaker prospects and make the better prospects stand out so they can do better in the UFC.
Yeah. Some of the other things she's going to continue to do, she's also going to be the color commentator for Invicta.
She probably took the fight in the UFC. She probably didn't even want that fight, but she just
said,
took it just to add something else to.
She did say
her
that
repertoire.
before the night of the fight, she had decided that was going to be her last fight, regardless of whether she was going to win or lose.
Because she already had the job offer.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Staring at the contract the whole time.
and then she's also going to continue to be an assistant coach to Greg Jackson over at Jackson's camp.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Good for her.
So big things for Julie Kedzie.
Any word on signing that one chick to a 6-figure contract and an immediate title fight?
No.
Of course not.
She might have an immediate title fight over in Invicta. So, yeah, this story came out this week. It's very strange that Shooto Brazil is going to feature a bout against a man versus a woman.
Yeah, I don't understand this at all.
Basically, Emenson Falco, who's 0-1, is going up against Juliana Velasquez, who's 0-0, to compete in the first ever professional 3-round bout. It's just very strange.
Well, like Eric said on Facebook,
Yeah.
the guy has nothing to win off of this. If he wins, he beat a girl. If he loses, then it possibly damages his career.
He
forever.
lost to a girl.
What do you mean? Pack it up and get out.
They were both beat for the 135-pound
Wait,
division.
however, before you say that, he's fighting her injured because he wasn't set to come back for a few months, and then he signed for this fight while he's still technically injured.
It doesn't matter. Hand in his pocket, right arm taped to his leg. He's still beating up a girl.
So weigh-ins are going down tomorrow.
Dodge didn't want us to talk anymore about
No,
that.
I'm just saying, I guess we'll figure out what's actually going to happen.
Because
If this bout is actually going to be allowed. Because they said there's no rules that specifically prohibits a man from fighting a woman. However,
they're supposed to be on the same competition level.
yes.
And this guy basically says there's absolutely no way a man and a woman are on the same competition level, which obviously is
That's a
sexist.
whole other can of worms.
It's a whole other conversation I don't even want to get into. But then at the same time, how do you explain Chad Tillman?
Right?
The guy was missing a boob.
Yeah.
He had no pec. None. Whole chest cavity was just gone. How was he on the same level as everybody else who was fighting?
What do you mean? What about the guy with the one arm?
Yeah? Who fights?
Yeah, or the guy with no arms and no legs and just bites people.
Oh.
I don't think he actually bites.
Does he do chin submissions?
Chin to the eye. Tap him before. Tap him before. Mark Kerr defeated Dan Bobas, chin to the eye.
Oh, God.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll look that up at the end of the show.
When did you get Albert's knowledge? Just pulling random stuff out of nowhere.
I know that. See, actually, I think I have that fight. It's on a Pride DVD.
Is this Doug Rhino Marshall?
Doug the Rhino Marshall had a bad night.
He got knocked out.
Got knocked out by Alexander Shlemenko. And then he got suspended by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission for a failed drug test.
I feel bad for Rhino because when he fought Brian Stan back in the day, was when I just called it out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, I'm right. I'm kind of a dick. Brian Stan's going to knock him out, and he did. And I was like, oh, that makes me a bad person.
Yeah, I feel bad when you're right.
Yeah.
I predicted the future.
Yeah. So he's suspended now, huh?
Too bad it wasn't for your lottery ticket.
I do not know how to play the lotto.
So at the post-fight media scrum that I was attending, they were talking about how Carlos Condit was going to have another opponent since Matt Brown is out. Everyone mentioned, well, what about Tyrone Woodley? Dana White said, no, I can't put Tyrone Woodley up against Condit because Tyrone Woodley is not ranked.
Well, of course. Dana White says no and then says yes.
UFC 171 going down on the same card as
We
the
are
co-main
never
event.
going to have women in the UFC.
Yeah, co-main event for Johnny Hendricks and Robbie Lawler will be Carlos Condit
fancy
against
Ronda Rousey.
Tyrone Woodley.
Why does he even say stuff? Dana White shouldn't be allowed to make these kind of predictions because he's pretty much always lying to us.
I blame cocaine.
Whoa, allegedly.
I don't even know if anybody's ever alleged that except for Dennis.
Just go back and beep that whole thing out.
I blame beep. Leave it up to your imagination. Matt Grice has a skull.
This is weird, man.
You can see picture number 1, no skull. Picture number 2, skull with swollen eyes.
I already have no skull, boy.
The second one looks like too much skull.
It's all swollen. Yeah, his head's rounder on the other side.
No, that's
I love
from
that
the
he
surgery.
tweeted, though, I was not sure if I was in a fight UFC Friday night or I had another brain surgery. I can't tell.
This poor bastard, he's got black eyes from his brain surgery, and now I want to know if he has a metal plate, is he allowed to compete?
Why not?
No.
Tim Sylvia has a metal plate in his arm. You can't break it
And
anymore.
Tim
Yeah,
Sylvia
but there's a
still
big
sucks.
difference between
Yeah.
the plate in your head and
He's
a plate
still
in your
able to
arm.
fight. He's still able to fight.
Haven't you ever seen the movie?
Maybe he'll be able to pick up the commentary and know he needs to do better.
Haven't you ever seen... That's amazing. That's amazing.
It sounds like I'm down a couple rounds.
Haven't you ever seen the boxing movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.? Huh?
No.
Where he like dips his head and like punches him in the forehead and breaks his hand because it's so much stronger up there. Huh? Now he's gonna have a metal plate up there. He's gonna be breaking everybody's hands. It's not fair.
So Uriah Faber wants. I don't know. Uriah Faber wants to fight Renan Barão Cruz winner. What do you think?
Of course, why wouldn't he? Of course he does.
I think he need Dana White addressed that there was a bunch of guys talking about the rumors about how they just keep trying to give title fights to Uriah Faber. But look at everybody he's beaten. Look, he takes out everybody that's in the top. He takes out whoever's going to be a contender. You go through Uriah Faber, you get beat. Uriah Faber gets into the title.
I think he should, and since he comes out and says stupid stuff anyway, why doesn't he come out and tell these guys, you'll fight who I put in front of you. Don't ask me for fights. Don't talk about fights. Take the fight that you get.
That is what happens to a point. He does like fighters that call out other fighters because it makes him and Joe Silva's job easier, and it makes them seem like they actually want to fight. When guys turn down fights, like Nick Diaz did to fight Carlos Condit, that looks bad. He just said flat out, I'm not going to ask Nick Diaz for another fight. When he's ready to fight, he can come find me.
By the way, the movie was Gladiator in 1992. The thing is, these guys get asked who they want to fight next.
Yep.
They get asked all the time. So what are they supposed to say? I have no comment on that.
And a lot of them say, I'll fight whoever the UFC puts in. Yeah, a lot of the guys say that. I'll fight whoever they want to put in front of me.
But they should be allowed to have their own opinion.
Right.
And
I just don't want him to be like Shale, where it's whoever he says he wants to fight, or whoever he can talk himself into fighting.
I don't think Faber's ever done that, though.
No, I'm just saying.
The thing about Chael is that he markets himself so well, and the people can see the social media blitz, and it's like, okay, well, this many people online actually want to see this fight happen. We might as well make it happen. And Chael's really good at that, and that's exactly what Conor McGregor's trying to do, and a lot of the other fighters are trying to do. They want to get that online social media blitz, so that way they can get the fight that they want and hopefully get a bigger payday out of it. Versus Joe Silva making a match, which, I mean, let's face it, half the time Joe Silva doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
But at the end of
I'd say he's one of the greatest matchmakers out there.
Really? How many times have we sat here and been like, why is that even happening?
Look at some of the bigger fights that he's actually put together, though.
I'm like, hey, you know what? A broken clock's right twice a day.
Compared to some of the other guys, I think his leprechaun powers are pretty powerful.
His leprechaun powers.
Just saying.
Fair enough. Don't ever pick up Joe Silva again.
Ever. Josh Thompson. So we had the most amazing fight in the heavyweight division that you are arguing quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Either way, Bigfoot tested outside the limits of TRT.
So now it gets completely discounted as the greatest heavyweight fight of all time.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
Has to be thrown out. Has to be thrown out.
It's still considered a draw.
Has to be thrown out. He was high.
The only thing that's the difference is he has a 9-month suspension and lost his $50,000 fight of the night bonus to Mark Hunt.
Does he lose his island?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if he's going to be allowed to be still on his island.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Lost $50,000 though.
That sucks.
Mark Hunt got $50,000 the next day. That's awesome.
Was it worth all the TRT? Was it? Was it worth it, Bigfoot? Huh?
Doesn't he already have a hormonal imbalance?
He does, and he had doctors that were allowing him to take TRT because of his hormonal imbalance. But apparently, he went to a new doctor and they gave him too much. That's what he's blaming it on.
About a half cup.
When you have gigantism, you need more TRT,
right?
Jesus. All right.
Otherwise, your body will produce it.
It's possible. Sounds like doctors.
If you don't inject it, then your body will give it to you.
You have to hurry up and eat it before it turns back into a grape.
Sounds like something a doctor would say. I believe
exactly.
So, Ronda Rousey came out, lastly but not least, that she said she does not want to leave a Gina Carano void and leave the sport on her own. She will leave when she is ready. She's not going to just step away, especially they were asking her, especially about all the movies she's making and these other things she's doing.
Gina Carano got the fighting spirit sucked out of her by Cyborg, like without a doubt. And I think if Ronda Rousey faces a defeat that bad, the same thing's probably going to happen. Like, you think she cries a lot now? Wait until she gets her ass handed to her.
I think she's going to go postal and kill everybody in the ring.
If she loses?
Yeah. I think everybody's going to walk away with not an arm. Like, she's just going to walk away. Snap. Just like a big circle, and everyone's just going to be...
I tell you right now, the second Ronda Rousey loses, you need to buy stock in bonbons immediately. Because that bitch is going to be home just face deep in ice cream.
Everybody is like, they got a video out, how to get around Rousey's armbar.
Oh yeah, the Gracie's put one out too.
Yeah.
I was saying when she
they put that out there when she first started doing it and didn't help anybody.
I'm just saying when she does finally lose, she's gonna have one of those half-a-gallon ice cream containers around her mouth like a horse thing, just eating it nonstop. She's gonna be at home all bummed out.
Know.
She looks like Ben Stiller at the end of Dodgeball.
I still say
if brings all the boys to the yard.
She can do that now. She's got boobs. Just saying.
Before we jump into this, it's old news, but I did just watch Warrior over the weekend. I know you saw it when it came out.
Uh-huh.
And actually, I was thinking about it. I've been thinking about it a lot because I think it's a very tastefully done mixed martial arts film.
The only thing, I have one gripe.
The Powerbomb?
The Powerbomb.
The Powerbomb is ridiculous with Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle looks like a beast at 170.
Yeah.
Holy God.
He's not 170.
Well, what do you think he wrestles at in WWE?
He's like...
I'd say 215 to 230.
I think he's heavier than that.
Really?
Yeah.
In the movie Warrior, he's so trimmed down, you almost don't recognize him. And he plays as who's supposed to be Fedor, basically.
He's Koba.
He's Koba. He's the undefeated Russian fighter that comes over to the States. There's obviously...
I did not like the wrestling moves that they added. The pro wrestling moves, they could have added different moves, and I would have been happy.
I agree with that. I was impressed with
237 is what he's billed at.
Is what he's billed because like when he was there's no way he was 237 in the movie. He was way trimmed down. I personally think he was way trimmed down.
He looked huge compared to the other guys, though.
But you had some professional mixed martial artists in there, like Nate Marquardt,
and Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Anthony Rumble Johnson, thank you, and that was pretty cool to see. I thought the way they orchestrated everything. Obviously, we haven't had a Grand Prix here in the States, and obviously this would not happen over the course of 2 nights. There's no way is it Brandon character, the older brother?
Brendan, yes.
There's no way he would have been able to fight after Koba. That would have been a medical suspension immediately. You know what I mean?
Well, not only that, but that was the other thing too, is the fact that Herb Dean didn't check. Was it Herb Dean? No, I think it was.
All I saw was Rosenthal all night.
Rosenthal didn't check the broken arm in the middle of the round.
Right, the broken shoulder. Yeah, Rosenthal, Herb Dean, they look the same.
I don't know if you really want to see.
They're like twin brothers.
I forgot, man. Rosenthal's in jail right now due to marijuana.
I know. I'm watching this movie and it's like you had the guys from Tap out there. You had Skyscrape and Punk Ass. Then you had Josh Rosenthal. I mean, they really did a lot to make sure they put a lot of knowledge behind this movie.
They had what was the guy's name? He played. He basically played Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he was really good at it, and really good Joe Rogan look-alike. They got Sam Sheridan, who's written some great books like A Fighter's Heart and A Fighter's Mind. The movie itself, if you haven't seen this as a mixed martial arts fan, you can actually watch this and enjoy it. I did want to ask you, though, because it ends at the end of the movie, do you think, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, do you think that the big brother goes ahead and like pays off his house and then gives the rest of the money to the widow that the younger brother's trying to do?
I don't even think he pays off his house. I think he just gives the money to...
He has to pay off his house. That's the whole reason for being there.
Oh, that's true.
And then just gives the rest of the money to the widow.
Yeah, why not?
It's a pretty crazy movie, man. Nick Nolte's in it. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. All the mixed martial arts movies I've seen are
That's probably one of the best ones.
Without a doubt.
That and Red Belt. Red Belt was pretty good.
Red Belt, that was a David Finch film?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Fincher or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, it was good. Good flick. Worth watching. Like I said, I just saw it. I know it came out months ago, but it was
months, like 2 years ago, bro.
On Netflix or Redbox or whatever. It was a new release on Netflix.
No, that was also 6 months ago.
Then it was because you watched this.
There
should watch
you go.
This.
Boom.
And I did.
It's Warriors going to be starting in 14. 13,
it was just
12.
released.
I got nothing else to do today. Why won't Redbox just let me go to sleep?
It was just released on his screen.
Yes, that's exactly it.
I'm suggesting movies.
That's what happened too.
When you go to
Not
watch,
even kidding.
when you watch TV series and it just starts the next episode, I'm literally on the couch being like, I can reach my remote and I could end this.
Yep.
But it's gonna end. It started.
I'm not even kidding. I saw Warrior. I was like, I haven't seen that. I'll watch it. It was like because I watched something else. It was like Warrior. I was like, oh, I want to see that. So I watched Warrior. Warrior was over. I was like, oh, Ghost Protocol. Sure, I'll watch that. Oh, Skyfall. Sure, let's. Woke up on my couch drooling everywhere.
Now you're gonna have Undisputed 2 and 3.
Oh, there was all kinds of terrible movies that showed up after that, but yeah, for the most part. Anyway, jumping into UFC on Fox 9, which happened last weekend at the Sleep Train Arena up in Sacramento. Dodge was actually able to be present. There's screen caps of him tweeting or something from his phone in the background.
We were tweeting, yeah.
Yeah. And I have to ask you first. I have not been to one of these big event cards. I always go to the crappy event cards, which don't have any food. You get to go to all the big ones that have the food. How was the spread this time?
Food's good. Food's always good, man.
But what do they have? It's always different. What do they have?
Yeah,
Make me hungry.
Last
Make
time
me
it was
hungry.
Thanksgiving. This time we had pulled pork. We had corn poblano. We had salad, rolls, molten lava brownie cake with homemade fresh. It was strawberry banana ice cream.
So jealous.
Yeah.
So jealous.
It was good.
One of these
really
days.
good. Mac and cheese.
When UFC comes back to Northern California in like 6 or 7 years, I'm so going.
No, it's actually going to be sooner than that.
I think so too. Especially with the new arena. When the new arena gets built,
Dodge,
and hopefully security will be a little more informed about what the hell is going on and won't send me around the arena a couple times.
Right. And Dodge said that even after he said that he really liked everything the way it was happening in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Dana was very happy.
Dana was very happy.
Dana was happy with Dodge's comment about...
No.
Yes. I said it to myself.
When did you hang out with Uncle Dana?
I hung out with him. We hung out. I was in the media scrum. I stood there in the back and was like, uh-huh. That's a good point. Yep. I don't want to say any wise ass comments because I don't want to get kicked out of here. Because I had a few.
You should have. Get back on TV, man. Get back
And that's
on TV.
that's what I said. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to put out there. Is we're trying to bring you news and everything, but we're kind of no nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't think we are either.
So, like,
And I
I'd be
think it's
like,
probably gonna
Dana-
end up getting me in trouble at some point.
Yeah.
You put 2 or 3 grams in your blunt. What do you do, Dana? What do you do?
Allegedly, you put boop in your boop.
Let's make it sound worse.
All right, so let's kick it off with a Facebook fight. It was Apatinkin. Is that Mandy Patinkin?
El Tuckin.
Ozkillik and Darren Unawanawama.
Unaniyama.
This went to a split decision on Facebook. With,
So now nobody can pronounce names?
this is terrible. Are you serious? Uyenoyama. There we
Yeah,
go.
Uyenoyama.
Darren Uyenoyama. You were
Did
there.
it, who did it awesome? I wasn't paying attention.
You were sitting right behind somebody who was like, "Wait, I know how to pronounce these names," and you were writing it down phonetically.
I did like the Darren did the double kick that looked like it was something out of a video game, like spinning double kick, like both feet spinned over. It was pretty sweet. It landed, but it didn't do much.
That sucks for him.
But it was cool looking.
So that was Facebook, and they did a split decision with Mandy Patinkin's son apparently taking the win. Abel Trujillo up against Roger Bowling. This kicked off your prelims. This was a TKO in the second round at 135. Good job by Abel Trujillo, honestly.
Yeah, he's got to put his rap career on hold, man. He's going to have to go full into... He's a rapper. You didn't know that?
He's a rapper?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
We'll find that
Does
out.
he have a song with Pitbull somewhere?
Possibly.
Everybody does. Sam Stout taking out Cody McKenzie. What is the deal with Cody McKenzie's shorts? Did we find this out?
Nobody quite knows. Allegedly, he left them at the hotel.
That's got to suck for his
That's
sponsors.
it. He left them at the hotel along with his banner. He left his banner and his shorts.
Yeah, that's totally sucks for
He
his
had to-
sponsors
he-
all the way around.
He had to run across the street and buy a pair of Nike basketball shorts that A, had the pockets on it, but B, still had the tag on it that
Did
hurt
he get in
me.
trouble for the pockets?
No, pockets are legal as long as they don't have a zipper on them.
Oh, okay.
But still had the tag on them.
It's so ridiculous.
Herb
Amateur hour, bro. Where you at?
Herb Dean took the tag.
That's what he said. That's what Dana
Dana
said.
White said flat out, he's like, this is not Cody McKenzie's fault. This is our fault. This is UFC Amateur Hour. We're stupid.
He
I don't know what to say.
He blamed the handlers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, straight
Wow.
up. He said he's like, this should have never happened. Somebody's supposed to be in control of this. How did this happen?
It's
He's like, let alone
ridiculous.
is he in basketball shorts, but he has the fucking tag on him.
That's such a
Again,
rookie
my
move.
biggest argument is Herb Dean, you owe Cody McKenzie about $34 because he was trying to return those shorts.
Because they were Nike ones, man.
But I don't know if he could have, though, because he did take a Sharpie and write 907 on them
Why?
because that's Alaska's area code.
That's all he did? So all of his sponsors, he has to give all
How
his
do you
money back
know
to all his
that's
sponsors.
Alaska's area code?
Because he's weird. It was easier for him to run across the street and buy basketball shorts because I'm assuming he was staying at the hotel.
Right.
Whatever.
Which I gotta believe is super... I don't know. How long was he at the arena before they realized he didn't have his shorts or his banner?
Hey, go ahead and get dressed, Cody. I can't.
Well, like Dodge said, how many vendors there were actually selling
Official UFC shorts. Shouldn't they have just grabbed a pair of those?
Excuse me, do you have any Cody McKenzie shorts, the official ones? Why do you want those? Because I'm Cody McKenzie.
Dana White was funny. Dana White was like, maybe he thought he was going to fight in jeans, and then it was like, man, I should probably get shorts.
Just some old
Could you fight in cutoffs?
Yeah, in Lionheart. Yeah.
As long as there's no zipper, can't have a zipper.
Oh, button fly?
Button
If you
fly.
can do button fly cut off shorts, I'm sure you could.
If that's
He said it was...
Exactly.
He claimed this was more embarrassing than the Dennis Hallman Speedo.
No way.
For the UFC.
I think
Because it was live on Fox.
the Dennis Hallman Speedo thing was funny. This is just, like he said, this is just amateur hour. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You shouldn't, I mean, to have to get your tag pulled off in the middle of a fight and have white Nike basketball shorts. I like the cutoff jean rule. I think that should be the Jean-Claude Van Damme rule,
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
What if Sam Stout would actually squeeze the shit out of him? We would have known.
It's happened in a fight.
No, I know.
Billy Flagg said he does not wear white shorts in case he gets knocked out and shits himself. Like he tweeted that during the
Really?
fight. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's why Tim Sylvia.
When
wore
you're
black
out,
shorts.
you're not in control of anything.
I'm in control of my own destiny.
I felt Sam Stout was being nice to the homeless guy they let in the cage because he didn't seem to finish him. He was still playing it safe. He didn't want to get guillotined.
Wait, Sam hands a pillow Stout didn't finish somebody.
I think he was just kind of hanging in there.
So Zach Makovsky went up against Scott Jorgensen. Scott Jorgensen didn't look too good, except for his hair.
Yeah, looked like the Red Rooster.
So that went to a unanimous decision in favor of Zach. Bobby Hood Green up against Pat
Hey,
Healy.
his name is Bobby the King Green by now, by the way.
Whatever, I don't care. I was surprised by this fight quite a bit. Pat Healy, he stood in there, but Bobby Green looked good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it should be
Do you think Pat Healy looked good? Do you think Bobby Green looked good, or Pat Healy looked so bad he made Bobby Green look good?
Yeah, because I think it should be 29-28 in the second, too. I don't think that the...
I think Pat Healy actually did a pretty decent job.
You think 29-28 is still in favor of Bobby Green?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think Pat Healy
I don't
did a
think
good
there's
enough
that
job.
big a gap in the second. In the first, there was.
I honestly thought Pat Healy. I don't know if Pat Healy looked so bad that Bobby Green looked good, but Bobby Green's 3-0 in the UFC now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's saying something. Considering the guy in Strikeforce was kind of whatever. He's obviously made some adjustments.
He's
to his
definitely
game,
making adjustments,
especially going up against somebody like Pat Healy, who's very experienced. Maybe never a championship status. But
I
very
liked that
experienced.
Pat Healy came out to the Green, which is an awesome reggae band from Hawaii,
Of course, you would know that.
and that was awesome. Especially because the song is called "Forgive Me" and it's talking about buying pot.
Right.
And he just got busted his fight before for
buying pot.
being over pot.
Nice.
It's hilarious.
Now we got Edson Barboza going up against Danny Castillo. Tough night for Team Alpha Male. I mean, they went 2-2. Danny Castillo bringing them one of the losses. Danny Castillo killed it in the first round.
Killed it. And
Yeah.
Dana White was pissed. He said this fight should have been scored a draw, specifically because he said that the first round should have been a 10-8 round for Castillo.
I could see that.
And he said, if anything, this was closer to a 10-7 than it was a 10-9.
Wow, really?
That's what he claims.
I mean, Danny Castillo took it to him for the entire first round. It was that roundhouse kick, the
spinning back kick to the stomach, man.
That took the wind out of his sails in the second round. Edson Barboza capitalized on that, got an amazing takedown on him as well.
And then Barboza it was kicks left and right.
Yeah.
It seriously sounded like shotgun blasts going off inside the arena. They were that loud.
Well, you were close enough to actually hear it too. Yeah,
the entire arena was that loud.
Yeah, it was a crazy turnaround for Edson Barboza walking away with the win. I could have seen it as a draw. I was watching it, wondering if they were going to score it as a draw or not. But Edson Barboza fought hard and he fought for the win and he got it. He got the majority decision and walked away with the win. Then he got Ryan LaFleur going up against Court McGee. Bummed me out.
Ryan LaFleur, man, coming in on short notice and just took it to Court McGee the entire time.
What I was saying during the fight was like, you got someone like Court McGee he's very talented, very heavy-handed, and a great wrestler, and he was prepared to go up against one fighter. Ryan LaFleur takes the fight on short notice. So it comes to his advantage, almost like it flashback to Joe Lauzon when he fought Jens Pulver. Jens Pulver couldn't get any tape on J-Lo.
Right.
You know what I mean? How much tape could Court McGee get on Ryan LaFleur in the amount of time that they had to actually
Fought in
prepare for him?
Bellator. There's plenty of tape
But
on him.
what I'm saying is the amount of time they had to prepare for him.
Okay,
you know,
I can
especially
understand
when he was preparing for somebody else, it kind of changes up his entire game plan. Especially when Ryan LaFleur, from what I understand, had a completely different fighting style than the guy Court McGee.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yes.
Now, the one thing I will say with LaFleur is a lot of these guys talk about when they take a fight on short notice, if they just fought, it's just an extended fight camp for them. They just basically start cutting weight immediately again, and
Right.
a lot of them are already around the weight. They're already in shape. They already have a game plan. I mean, other than making small adjustments, it's just an extended fight
Oh, yeah.
camp. And
Oh,
so it's
definitely.
easier for guys coming off of a recent fight than it is guys going into a fight.
Yeah, and it was a tough loss for Court McGee, but good on Ryan LaFleur. Hopefully Court McGee can come back and get a win after that. As we move on to the main card now, Joe Lauzon, he kicked it off up against Mac Danzig and looked great.
Mac Danzig also rocking the white shorts, but for a completely different reason. He had
No, not for sale.
not for sale
Yeah.
written on him.
Didn't want any sponsors. I don't understand why you wouldn't want more money, but hey,
Exactly what Dana White said. He goes, you know what? If they don't want to have sponsors, they don't have to. He's like, that guy can fight with no sponsors for the rest of his life, but you have a short, small window of opportunity to fight, number one, and two, for people to give you money to fight.
Well,
why not take it?
The question is, could he just not get any?
No, apparently he had a sponsor offer, and he said he turned them down. He was making a statement.
Weird. I don't understand. My ass is not for sale. That's what it said. It was written across his ass. His
Except
ass
for
is
Ben
not for
Askren,
sale.
his is. He wants somebody to please buy him.
Please buy my ass.
Please buy me.
My ass is always for sale.
I mean,
You got the money, honey.
Kyle Kingsbury put up that he would tattoo his eyelids Ricky Bobby style. He will take any sponsorship available.
That's some dedication.
I think we should offer him a sponsorship deal.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be hard to tattoo Split Decision on his eyelids.
Split decision.
I think that he should get Nike to do it and just put swooshes on there. Just look like upside down eyebrows.
Plus, it's an extra $50,000 if you want to sponsor somebody in the UFC that we have to pay the UFC.
We can start a GoFundMe account.
Yeah.
Then Team Alpha Male racked up a win with Chad Mendez going up against Nick Lentz. Nick Lentz took this fight on short notice, right?
No.
No.
He was announced the entire time.
Oh, okay.
Chad Mendez, though, looked like crap because he had a sinus infection. After that first round,
Hey, sinus infections suck.
he said his lungs felt so heavy he could barely breathe.
That's why, and again, I'm surprised
But he
with
looked
the second
very
round,
good.
with the second round score.
Yeah.
But you could tell he was towards it. He was just doing enough just to get through
And he
it
said
and to make sure he
had
got
to
the
fight
win.
smart. He had to
Yep.
just get enough to get the win. He didn't want to put himself at too much at risk, especially not feeling well.
Poor guy. At least he walked away with a win.
Nope.
Uriah Faber also racking up a win for Team Alpha Male over Michael McDonald. And Uriah Faber said that he was kind of hoping to bait Michael McDonald into this kind of fight through his interviews, saying that he didn't want any piece of Michael McDonald's stand-up and wanting Michael McDonald to feel more confident in his stand-up to not see what he had in store. Now, it almost worked against him in the first round when Michael McDonald did land a pretty nice punch.
To me, it looked like that Uriah landed the first one, and Michael countered heavy, and you could see where Uriah was like, oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
He does have those heavy hands.
Very heavy hands, but still, Uriah Faber, the
Nailed him again in that second round, and just
experienced veteran.
scrambled him all over the cage. I mean, he was just falling all over the place trying to get out of the way.
Yeah, and then the total predator style where he just
jumped on
him. And we haven't seen. I don't know. I haven't seen that from Uriah in a while.
No,
that fire,
that scramble.
He's been on that comeback since on his last 3 fights before this. We kind of been seeing the old Uriah. Obviously he was the kid who was always in the cage and he was doing things that were unconventional.
Yep.
And then when it bit him in his ass against Michael Thomas Brown with his spinning back elbow and he got KTFO'd, then he kind of got a little more cautious. Well, now he's starting to go back to that Uriah Faber, and we definitely saw it pretty much full force up against Michael McDonald. Now Michael McDonald has to regroup from this, and I almost see this as the GSP Matt Hughes fight where GSP got beat, and he came out later and he was like, "Look, I looked up to him.
Yep.
I watched this guy for a long time."
But Michael McDonald straight out says, "I never looked up to Uriah Faber."
He says that now.
He said that even before when we talked to him before that.
I'm saying he says that now. I'm wondering what's going to happen in a few years.
Yeah.
When he has to revisit this loss against Uriah Faber, is he going to then change his tune?
Uriah Faber at the post-fight press conference said, I think the kid needs to get out a little bit.
Yeah, will this open the door to him training abroad?
He
That's what I want to know.
needs to go
We've
somewhere.
been saying that
We've been saying that since he started.
Yeah.
Since he started in the UFC. But Uriah Faber flat out said, this kid needs to get out some. This kid needs to experience some more things. He has all the talent in the world to be a champion. He just needs to move somewhere. He can't just stay in his bubble.
No, and we've literally said that since he made his debut in the
you're not going to get any better when you're the best guy at the place that you're training.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Yep. Not going to get any better if you're the best guy.
That was the biggest problem with Brock Lesnar's camp because he didn't want anybody in the camp that was better than him, and everybody in his camp was afraid to hit him. And now you got Michael McDonald, who's the golden boy of Oakdale MMA.
There's nobody else in Oakdale MMA that is in my opinion, pro fighter that is on the map. That
I don't think anybody can challenge
they're
him
making
out
some
there.
pro fights. They have,
Right.
they do Art of War. They do all these,
Right.
these different things. But look at Alpha Male. They have 7 fighters.
Right.
7 that are signed to the UFC.
And they have an amazing punching coach that's already done time.
Who
with
is
the UFC.
already, exactly.
I'm not taking anything away from Oakdale MMA. They obviously groomed this kid to be who he is now.
Yes.
But we've said it along. You need the experience. Dave Camarillo, one of his core principles is train with everyone. Mm-hmm. You got to get experience everywhere else. You have to always be learning. And there's so many people that could probably open the door for so many different things on Michael McDonald if he would just allow it.
A lot, yeah, exactly.
So, I'm not saying, make Oakdale MMA your base camp all the time, but go and do seminars, other places, experience other people. You have to. Main event of the night, Demetrius Johnson going up against Joseph Benavidez. What the...
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Awesome.
Joseph Benavidez looked amazing for those first 2 minutes. First 2 minutes, he was taking it to Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse uncorked and hit him with that right hand, and he just went to sleep.
Dude.
Like, he was unconscious, and he followed up with like 5
I
shots
know.
so fast.
I hit people, they go down.
That's exactly what he said.
He did not. He proved that whole interview correct. Everybody was questioning it because he hasn't knocked out anybody in the UFC. Well, hello, Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, what did I ask you right before it started? What's the over-under on the punches landed?
Oh, it's true.
There won't be no damage, but what's the over-under? And I was just...
I want to
Boom.
know. I want to know if his chin got fractured because it was so directly.
Oh, it lifted him.
Yeah,
if you watch
yeah.
in slow motion, his feet go together and kind of slide back.
It
But
was
one
pretty
little
insane.
good thing for Joseph Benavidez, A, he'll be back. B, he got fight of the night.
How do you get fight of the night in 2 minutes and 8 seconds? That's insane. I'm surprised
See,
by that.
I love the fight of the night because both guys get it, right?
Yeah.
The guy who got his ass beaten, the
Oh,
guy...
excuse me. I'm sorry. Castillo got fight of the night in his loss against Barboza.
Okay.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Demetrius Johnson got knockout of the night. Sorry.
So Benavidez gets nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe Castillo will share his $50,000 with him. And Faber, because Faber got submission of the night, so there's $100,000 going to Alpha Male. They'll take him out for dinner.
That's why
Through
he
a straw.
That's why he didn't finish him with punches. He won a submission of the night.
Because he knew the knockout of the night was coming next.
So they'll take Benavidez out for dinner through a straw. He'll be okay.
Through his jaws wired shut. So I guess that's it. Next week we're going to look forward to the next pay-per-view, which of course is the big one. It's Silva and Weidman up again. So that's next week. So we'll give you a preview and a breakdown of that card as we get there. We posting this?
Oh yeah.
The highlight reel of all the just punches and bunches during
Slow motion. It's all the slow motion cam footage from UFC on Fox 9.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So check that out on our Facebook page. Look up Split Decision MMA Podcast.
This is
on
where it
Facebook.
starts.
Bink.
Why?
No.
No.
Bink.
Oh, no.
Stop it. Stop. Don't push me.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Just bullied him with that. Anyway, big thanks to Fight Fans Radio Network for putting us out there on their Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iTunes account, as well as Official KOA. That is officialkoa.com. Knockout Artist Clothing. They fit fighters, fight fans, and fight personalities alike. This is the Official KOA Studios.
He was pointing at Dodge when he did that.
Yeah.
He was. He's like Babe Ruth called his shot. Watch him knock him out right now. If you want to hear the pre-fight interviews with these guys, we have them up on our back episodes.
Hey, I'm pretty sure he needs to get deducted a point. He's holding the fence.
He don't. Even when he's out, he don't let go of the fence.
He's got his middle finger poked at it. That is fantastic. SplitDecisionMMA.com is the number one place you should go to come find us. Aside from that, it's Bueller and Dodge saying have a good night, and we will see you at the fights.